Over countless millennia, humanity has proven itself the organism most adept at killing its own kind. This grim talent, etched deep into the marrow of its history, persists unchanged. Should you ever encounter something better at war than a human, odds are it was a human, either cloaked beneath a facade or imbued with the indomitable human soul. Yet, for all its storied legacy of violence, one enigma has long perplexed the Imperium of Man: the decision of the Council of Xenos to classify humanity as a protected species. The Council, composed of representatives from the galaxy's most ancient and powerful races, deemed humanity far too fragile for the horrors of war. To them, humans were not warriors, but caretakers of tools they could scarcely understand. They envisioned humans as traders, diplomats, and laborers, roles deemed befitting their limited capabilities. Soldiers? Never. Warriors? Certainly not. To the elder races, humanity was a flickering anomaly, an industrious footnote destined to play a supporting role in the grand galactic narrative. Saddling such a delicate species with the burdens of conquest or defense seemed not just unwise, but cruel. In their eyes, humanity's chaotic history of conflict was a relic of their planetary adolescence, not a harbinger of their potential. The Imperium of Man, however, did not respond with wounded pride or defiance. Instead, they accepted the designation with a peculiar mixture of humility and curiosity. The decision was a dismissal, but also an opportunity. And so, the Imperium agreed, on one condition. Any and all Council members must treat humanity as an equal, with the full rights and consequences of equality, including the capacity to wage war or be warred upon. The clause, buried deep within reams of agreements, was dismissed as a curious flourish, a whimsical request from an overeager species. The Council, bemused by the audacity of this fledgling race, agreed without hesitation. After all, how could such a naive species hope to wield the tools of power effectively? Humanity's ambition would surely outpace its ability, and in time their naivety would prove their undoing. They could not have been more wrong. The misunderstanding became tragically evident when the Kolovven Empire declared war on the Imperium of Man. The Kolovven were an apex predator species, a nightmare rendered in chitin and muscle. Towering insectoid behemoths, their razor-edged limbs could cleave through steel, their exoskeletons impervious to most known weaponry. Clouds of toxic nitrogen spew from their glands, suffocating anything foolish enough to engage them in close quarters. They were engineered for domination, and conquest was etched into their genetic code. When they turned their gaze upon humanity, they saw only a weak and unremarkable species, a target ripe for plunder. The solar system, with its nascent colonies and burgeoning industries, was little more than an appetizer. The war began with precision orbital strikes. Planets burned, billions died, and the stars themselves seemed to echo the screams of the dying. In mere weeks, humanity's outer colonies were rendered lifeless husks, shattered monuments to Kolovven supremacy. The Council of Xenos convened an emergency session, expecting humanity's representatives to arrive in desperation, pleading for aid. Surely the protected species now understood their place. But humanity did not plead. They arrived in silence. No cries for mercy, no appeals for protection. They stood, nodded once, and left the chamber without a word. What followed was not a counterattack. It was annihilation. The Imperium's fleets descended upon Kolovven territory with a fury the galaxy had never witnessed. Humanity's warships, sleek and bristling with weapons, tore through the invaders' defenses with brutal efficiency. Kinetic weapons shattered planets, railguns held projectiles with the force of extinction events, and orbital bombardments rendered entire worlds uninhabitable. The Kolovven's biological advantages, once insurmountable, were dissected and nullified with terrifying speed. Humanity's bioweapons turned their exoskeletons into rotting prisons, while adaptive nanotechnology neutralized their toxic gases. The predators became prey, hunted with cold, merciless precision. Entire planets fell in days. Those too fortified to conquer were not spared but erased, transformed into singularities by humanity's most horrifying weapons. Where the Kolovven sought domination, humanity delivered extinction. By the end, the Kolovven were driven back to their homeworld, a once proud empire reduced to ash and desperation. Humanity, victorious, did not pause to celebrate. They finished what had been started, ensuring the Kolovven's annihilation with a cold, methodical efficiency that left the galaxy trembling. The Council of Xenos, watching from afar, was forced to confront the magnitude of their error. The protected species had revealed its true nature. Humanity was not a harmless anomaly. It was a weapon honed by eons of self-destruction, its potential masked by humility and misdirection. The galaxy was terrified. The stories spread like wildfire. Humanity was not a species to be ignored or underestimated. They were a force of nature, an extinction event in the shape of a smile. And humanity? Humanity was happy. For the first time, the universe had seen them for what they truly were, and the revelation filled them with grim satisfaction. The lesson, etched into the stars, was one the galaxy would never forget. The monsters you fear most don't hide in shadows or distant systems. They sit across from you, patient and smiling, waiting for the moment you mistake their humility for weakness. And humanity was smiling still, for they had found their purpose in the ashes of war and had discovered the unsettling truth that brought them joy. The universe was scared, and they were happy about it.